A skinwalker is one of the most terrifying creatures in Navajo folklore, an entity capable of shapeshifting, cursing victims, and bringing untold misfortune. Known in Navajo as Yi-Nal-Bushi, meaning with it, he goes on all fours. This being is not a mere myth, but a taboo subject in many indigenous communities, feared and avoided. Skinwalkers are witches, corrupted shamans who have abandoned the sacred path of healing in favor of dark, forbidden powers. Stories of these creatures have existed for centuries, passed down through generations, and sightings continue to be reported today, often centered in the American Southwest, particularly around Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah. Whether dismissed as folklore or acknowledged as paranormal phenomena, the Skinwalker narrative has grown into one of the most disturbing supernatural legends of modern times. Origins of the Skinwalker. In Navajo belief, a medicine person, a healer, priest, or shaman must follow strict codes of conduct and rituals meant to preserve harmony in the world. Those who violate these sacred teachings risk becoming witches, turning their power towards selfish, evil pursuits. A skinwalker is considered one of the worst types of witches, someone who has committed the ultimate crime, murdering a close family member, often a sibling or parent, to gain supernatural powers. This heinous act marks the point of no return, severing their connection to humanity and binding them to a life of malevolence. The transformation into a skinwalker allows the witch to assume the form of any animal, usually one associated with the night, danger, or death. Wolves, coyotes, foxes, owls, and crows are common choices, but they can take on any creature depending on their purpose. Once they have transformed, skinwalkers possess all the heightened abilities of the animal: speed, strength, agility, enhanced senses, and they retain enough human intelligence to plot and deceive. In Navajo society, the fear of skinwalkers is so deeply rooted that even speaking about them is believed to draw their attention. This makes it difficult to collect reliable information, as most stories are told in hushed tones, behind closed doors, or passed only among trusted family members. Those who discuss skinwalkers openly risk becoming their next target. Abilities and powers. A skinwalker's most frightening ability is the power to shapeshift at will, but this is only the beginning of their arsenal. They can also control animals, using them as spies or messengers. When in animal form, they can travel at unnatural speeds and leap impossibly high. Some reports say they can run alongside cars traveling at highway speeds, keeping pace with ease before suddenly disappearing into the darkness. In addition to their shape-shifting abilities, skinwalkers possess telepathic powers. They are said to enter the minds of their victims, causing them to experience terrifying dreams or hallucinations. In some cases, skinwalkers have been known to mimic the voices of loved ones to lure people away from safety. If you hear your name called in the night, especially by a voice that seems slightly off, it's advised to ignore it and stay indoors. Answering may invite the skinwalker closer. Skinwalkers are also said to be able to curse their victims. They do this by sprinkling powders made from ground bones, often the bones of infants, on doorways or near personal belongings. Victims of these curses experience a series of escalating misfortunes, including unexplained illness, accidents, and nightmares. Some who have encountered a skinwalker report that their pets behaved strangely afterward, refusing to eat or displaying aggressive behavior. It is believed that the skinwalker can manipulate or possess animals to spy on their targets. Another unique ability is their power to cause psychological distress. Many witnesses claim that simply being near a skinwalker fills them with an overwhelming sense of dread and unease, as if something is deeply wrong. This fear often lingers for days or weeks after an encounter, suggesting that the skinwalker leaves behind a plague imprint on those it chooses to terrorize. How to identify a skinwalker? Skinwalkers are often described as humanoids with animalistic features. When in animal form, they look almost ordinary, but there is always something slightly off. Perhaps their eyes are too intelligent, their movements too precise, or their size is unnatural. Some animals have been reported standing upright on two legs, behaving in ways that defy explanation. Others appear with missing fur or mangled limbs, only to vanish without a trace moments later. One common sign of a skinwalker's presence is the appearance of animal tracks that seem to shift mid-path. For example, the tracks might begin as those of a coyote but suddenly transform into human footprints, suggesting the creature shifted form during its movement. Another eerie sign involves hearing strange knocking at windows or doors, usually late at night. These knocks are often accompanied by the sounds of animals scurrying or strange growls that feel too deliberate to be natural. It is also said that locking eyes with a skinwalker can place you under their control. Some stories tell of people becoming possessed after extended eye contact with one of these creatures, unable to resist the skinwalker's influence as they carry out acts they cannot remember. Skinwalker Ranch and modern sightings. While the Skinwalker legend is rooted in Navajo tradition, modern sightings have continued to fuel the fear surrounding these beings. One of the most famous hotspots for Skinwalker activity is Skinwalker Ranch in Utah. This remote location has been the site of unexplained events for decades, including cattle mutilations, UFO sightings, and strange animal encounters. Investigators and paranormal enthusiasts have described encounters with creatures that appear to change form, vanish into thin air, or exhibit supernatural abilities. Witnesses at the ranch have also reported feeling an intense, unexplainable fear, as if they were being watched. Some claim to have seen humanoid figures with glowing eyes lurking at the edge of the property, while others describe strange howling noises coming from nowhere. The phenomenon surrounding Skinwalker Ranch remains a mystery, and efforts to document these occurrences often end in frustration or failure. This skinwalker is not confined to remote areas. Truck drivers traveling along desert highways have told stories of animal-like figures running alongside their vehicles, staring at them through the windows with glowing eyes before disappearing. There are also tales of hitchhikers who vanish mid-journey, leaving behind only a lingering sense of unease. These encounters suggest that the legend of the Skinwalker continues to evolve, spreading far beyond its original cultural context. Defenses and weaknesses. The Skinwalker is notoriously difficult to kill, but some traditions suggest that white ash can harm or even destroy it. Bullets dipped in white ash are said to be the most effective weapons, though getting close enough to shoot one is a dangerous task. Some Navajo also believe that if you can identify the Skinwalker by their human name, they will lose their power and die. This, however, is easier said than done, as Skinwalkers guard their identities fiercely. Other methods of protection include sealing windows and doors with herbs such as sage and keeping pets indoors at night. If you suspect you are being targeted by a Skinwalker, it is advised to seek the help of a traditional healer who can perform protective rituals and cleanse the area. However, these rituals are not always guaranteed to work, and some believe that once a Skinwalker has marked you, escape is impossible. Conclusion. N. The legend of the Skinwalker serves as a warning about the dangers of power without balance and the consequences of evil acts. It is a story of transformation, but not just physical. It represents the loss of humanity, a descent into darkness that is difficult, if not impossible, to reverse. For the Navajo people, the Skinwalker embodies the ultimate violation of their cultural and spiritual laws. Even today, the fear of these creatures runs so deep that many will not discuss them openly, believing that even mentioning their name can invite disaster. Whether Skinwalkers are real, metaphorical, or supernatural, their stories remain one of the most chilling examples of how fear can transcend generations. They are creatures that blur the lines between human and beast, existing somewhere in the shadows, waiting, always watching. A deeper look into Skinwalker lore. The Skinwalker legend extends beyond simple shape-shifting and has far-reaching implications regarding power, fear, and taboo in Navajo society. These creatures are not just dark entities roaming the wilderness, they are intertwined with a complex understanding of morality, magic, and the spiritual world. Let's explore lesser-known aspects of Skinwalker lore, touching on both the cultural, symbolic elements and modern interpretations. Skinwalker vs. other witches in Navajo lore. Within Navajo beliefs, there are multiple types of witches: the corpse poisoners, the spellcasters, and the skinwalkers. What sets a skinwalker apart is its physical transformation ability, but beyond that, skinwalkers are believed to have crossed a spiritual boundary that no other witch dares cross. Corpse witches might use grave dust and bone powder to curse victims, but a skinwalker can implant their spirit into the body of an animal or person, temporarily controlling them like a puppet. Additionally, while most witches operate in secret, skinwalkers can be identified through subtle signs, such as wearing the skins of animals, an act considered highly taboo in Navajo culture. Unlike a standard witch who relies only on objects or spells, the skinwalker becomes a creature of two worlds, no longer fully human or fully animal. Human possession and mind control. One of the most frightening abilities associated with skinwalkers is their power to possess human beings. This is different from simple shapeshifting. In some accounts, the skinwalker is said to be able to invade a person's mind, causing them to act against their will. Victims might experience blackouts, strange behavior, or sudden violent urges. During these periods, the victim's consciousness is suppressed, leaving the skinwalker in full control. This mind control can be temporary or extend for days, depending on the skinwalker's goal. Witnesses have described friends or family members suddenly behaving in unfamiliar ways, as if something else was wearing their skin. Victims have little memory of their actions afterward, reinforcing the belief that skinwalkers can use humans as vessels for dark deeds. Some stories suggest that skinwalkers prefer to target vulnerable individuals, such as those suffering from emotional trauma or illness. By exploiting these weaknesses, they make it easier to infiltrate the person's mind. The longer a person remains under a skinwalker's influence, the more they risk losing their sense of self entirely. Signs of a skinwalker curse. Encountering a skinwalker is only the first step. The creature can leave behind a residual curse that slowly unravels a person's life. These curses are not always immediate. They might manifest as a series of small, unfortunate events such as misplaced objects, car accidents, or sudden sickness. Over time, these occurrences escalate, culminating in serious injury, financial ruin, or mental breakdowns. Victims of a skinwalker curse often describe experiencing intense, vivid nightmares, usually involving animal-like creatures watching them or pursuing them through the dark. Others claim they feel as if they are being watched, even in their own homes. Pets behave strangely, staring into corners or barking at nothing. Electronics might malfunction for no reason, and unexplained scratches or bruises appear on the victim's body. A well-known sign of a curse is the discovery of strange objects near a person's home: bones, feathers, or small bundles of herbs tied with twine. These objects, often placed under doorsteps or hidden in rooms, are believed to carry dark magic meant to bind the curse to the victim. Destroying these objects without proper ritual knowledge can backfire, worsening the curse instead of lifting it. Skinwalkers and death rituals. Skinwalkers are not only feared for their ability to harm the living, but also for their association with death and burial rites. In Navajo culture, death is treated with great care, and disturbing a grave or corpse is considered a profound violation. Skinwalkers, however, are said to exhume graves to collect bones and body parts, which they use in their dark magic. It is believed that skinwalkers use these materials to gain power over their victims, binding the spirit of the deceased to their will or cursing the living. Another chilling belief is that skinwalkers can mimic the appearance of the dead, taking on the form of a recently deceased person to infiltrate their family. This form of impersonation allows the skinwalker to wreak havoc in a household, causing grief and confusion among the living. Some families report that deceased relatives seem to appear in dreams, offering strange or dangerous advice only to later realize it was a skinwalker posing as their loved one. Skinwalker medicine and counter magic. Because skinwalkers are believed to be corrupted medicine people, the only way to counter their magic is through traditional Navajo healing rituals. These rituals are complex, requiring specific songs, herbs, and prayers that can only be performed by a skilled healer. One of the most powerful protective practices involves creating a sand painting, a sacred artwork made of colored sand that represents harmony and healing. The painting acts as a spiritual shield, drawing positive energy and warding off evil forces. In addition to sand paintings, sage smudging and the use of sweetgrass are common defensive practices. Smudging with sage is believed to cleanse the air of negative energy, while sweetgrass draws in good spirits. These practices must be performed regularly, as skinwalkers are known to be persistent. Once they target someone, they do not give up easily. Some Navajo healers also recommend using protective charms, such as turquoise stones or animal totems, which can serve as spiritual guardians. In extreme cases, individuals might relocate or change their names to escape a skinwalker's influence, as these creatures rely heavily on knowing a person's true identity to maintain their power over them. Skinwalkers in popular culture and the paranormal community. While skinwalkers are deeply rooted in Navajo tradition, their legend has taken on new life within the broader paranormal community. The modern sightings have drawn comparisons to other cryptids, such as the Wendigo or the Black-Eyed Children, creatures that share themes of impersonation, fear, and predation. The growing popularity of skinwalker stories in movies, TV shows, and internet forums has also led to misinterpretations of the original legend, with some blending it with urban myths or extraterrestrial encounters. Some paranormal researchers believe that skinwalkers are part of a broader phenomenon involving interdimensional beings, creatures that can shift between realities, taking on forms that resonate with our deepest fears. This theory suggests that skinwalkers may not be limited to Navajo territory, but could appear wherever belief in them persists, feeding off the fear and attention they generate. The mystery of Skinwalker Ranch continues to fascinate investigators, drawing connections between UFO sightings, government experiments, and the Skinwalker legend. Some speculate that the ranch's strange phenomena may be caused by a portal or rift in space-time, allowing creatures like skinwalkers to move between dimensions. While this idea stretches far beyond traditional Navajo beliefs, it demonstrates the enduring power of the Skinwalker myth to capture human imagination. The psychological impact of Skinwalker encounters. Whether real or symbolic, encounters with skinwalkers leave a lasting psychological mark on those involved. Witnesses often struggle with post-traumatic stress, plagued by anxiety, nightmares, and paranoia long after the event. Some claim that the fear of being watched never fully leaves them, as if the skinwalker is still lingering in the shadows, waiting for another opportunity to strike. For those raised within the Navajo tradition, the experience of encountering a skinwalker is more than just a frightening moment. It is a spiritual violation that requires healing. Victims might isolate themselves from their communities, fearing that they have been marked or cursed. In some cases, families must undergo collective rituals to restore harmony and ensure the skinwalker does not return. The legend of the skinwalker is a testament to the power of stories. It reflects our deepest fears about betrayal, loss, and transformation, serving as both a warning and a reminder that there are forces in the world, whether human or otherwise, that defy understanding.